let's say lah, PC Kumar wants to know the air quality in one room or in one space. So PC Kumar can use what we can call the device, the device we can call the psychometry. This one, psychometry. Now, this psychometry, is constructed by two thermometer. The first thermometer, we can call dry bulb thermometer, to measure the dry bulb temperature. Now the second thermometer we can call the wet bulb thermometer, to measure the wet bulb temperature. Now so in here, two parameter related to the temperature, that dry bulb temperature corresponds to TDB. And the second, the wet bulb temperature is an approximation to TWB. This one, Now so if we see this equipment, we can see, kalau ini kita tengok ini macam apa namanya? Pistol. Nah yang lagi pendek ini dia punya ini thermometer, this one is dry bulb thermometer, to measure the dry bulb temperature. And longer thermometer, we can call the wet bulb thermometer, to measure the wet temperature. This one. Nah, just letak mana-mana which one area that will be measured. Nah, so we can obtain two parameters, means two temperature, dry and wet temperature. Now, from these two temperature, after that we can apply to the psychometric chart, to obtain the value of humidity ratio, for example, specific volume, enthalpy, saturation temperature. Now so PC Kumar after that can decide, this room, this space has good air, for example, or this space is not good air quality in terms of the humidity, because the humidity is very high, is above a range, to be hygiene, for example, this one. Now this one is psychometry chart, psychometry chart. Now we can see this psychometry chart that it has a lot of type of lines, banyak sangat ini dia punya line-line kan. Saya kalau mata yang udah berumur macam ini pun tengok pun kepala pun sengak macam ini, mana satu line ini indicate apa, nah macam itu ya. Nah, but in here I can decide that a lot of line in this psychometry chart here, that can be divided by 3, by 4. 4 lah I say. 4 lines. 4 lines. The first line, I call the vertical lines. The vertical line. Which one is it? For example, this one. Dia kan vertical line ya. Yang saya letak dekat sini yang dia punya big number lah. 5 vertical line, 10 vertical lines, 16 vertical line here, and then 45 vertical line, and 50 vertical line. Here For example lah, from 45 to 60, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Means per line, per vertical line has value 1. what is indicate of the value here? Yeah, it is for the dry bulb temperature. Yeah. Now this one. Now it's mean after getting the value of dry bulb temperature, yeah, obtaining from the measurement, yeah, how many degree? Yeah, for example, 40. Oh, so dry bulb is in here. Yeah, in this line. Yeah, okay. This one. Okay, after that, there is vertical and there is horizontal line. Yeah, horizontal line. Yeah, the horizontal lines indicates, yeah, please look at, yeah, for example, I take here, yeah, blah, 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 yeah, I take here, blah, 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 this one, yeah, until here, until arriving the right side, yeah, horizontal. Now, so when arriving the right side, oh, we have value from 0 to 6 until 32. What indicate? It is indicate for the humidity ratio. Yeah, humidity ratio. Yeah, gram over moisture per kilogram dr. Yeah, this one, yeah. It is for the horizontal. And then, when, for example, for this case, yeah, if we drag until arriving the left side, okay, look at this one. Yeah, it is it is indicate saturation temperature or dew point temperature. Ya, yang untuk lain-lain yang ini ya, yang ini. Mananya macam tadi ini, yang 12 dekat sini, drag until arriving here. Oh, how many degree ya? Nah, so it is indicate saturation temperature. Ya. Yeah, it is the first vertical, the second horizontal, and the third type of the line I can call left sloping projection line. Yes, I call left because dia di the direction to the left. Ya, left sloping ya, dia bentuk sloping, ya dia condong, and then projection dia ya, line yang memberikan projection condong to the left. Yeah. Now, so if we look at this one, yeah, there are three types. The left projection sloping projection line. Yeah, the first. Please look at. Yeah, I want to show first web bulb temperature. Yeah, this one ya, web bulb temperature. Ya, ini ada web bulb temperature. The web bulb temperature is indicated by the dot line ya, dot line here. Ya. Nah, so for example, yeah, it is 20. Ya, 20. Nah, so 20 ya degree Celsius. Yeah, from 15 we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, so per line, dot line is 1 degree Celsius. Yeah, I repeat again, the first left sloping projection line is for the wet bulb temperature. Yeah, this one. Okay, and then the second is specific volume. Ya, specific volume. Ya, this one. Specific volume. Ya, yang lain macam ini nih. Line ini. Kemudian line ini. And the others is for the specific volume. Ya, unit meter cubic per kilogram dr. Ya. And then the dot line, yeah, when after like this one, yeah, when we obtain the wet bulb temperature, yeah, for example, this one 20, and we draw terus, yeah, arriving here, Yeah, wrapping here, look at here, enthalpy. Yeah, means value starting 0, 10, 20, 30 until 120. It is the enthalpy. Unit kilojoule per kilogram their air. Yeah, it is obtained ya by kita tarik terus line daripada yang wet bulb temperature. Ya, arriving this value of enthalpy. Ya, this one is value for enthalpy. Ya, and then the fourth line type is what we can call as ya curving position line, ya curving position line, curve, bentuk curve, ya macam ini ya, lengkung. Ya, lengkung. Which one is it? Ya, it is indicate as relative humidity. Ya, yang lengkung semuanya, lengkung ini, lengkung yang daripada ini, lengkung ini, ya, dan sampai terusnya lah. Ya, value dia ada tulis ya. Dia tulis ini 10, indicate 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60 until here 90%. Yeah, this one. Yeah, remember ya? Okay. Yeah. Okay, based on the temperature measurement results, this one is TDB and TWB. TDB, temperature, dry bulb temperature and wet bulb temperature. By handle health psychometry and apply them into psychometry chart, some parameter can be obtained. Yeah, the first tadi humidity ratio represent weight of water vapor present in 1 kilogram of air. Inilah tadi ya, when after we draw one line in the position line here, until here we have the humidity ratio. Yeah, humidity ratio, this one. Yeah, humidity ratio. Okay, and then dew point temperature or saturation temperature for any given quality water vapor in the atmosphere. Yeah, this one after, ya tadi kita one line, kita gambarkan ya line here ya until arriving 1/4 of the saturation. Yeah, and so we have the dew point temperature. And then relative humidity percentage, saturation humidity. Ya, yang dia punya lengkung. Ya, curve line tadi. And then specific volume. Ya, for the left sloping position line, yang ini ya, yang lengkung ini. And then enthalpy as a thermodynamic properties of the system, ya, enthalpy here. Ya, we draw ya directly from the dew point until arriving here. Ya, this one. Ya, when we obtain the value of the parameter, ya, humidity ratio, and then the specific volume, and then the enthalpy and the others, we can decide, we can analyze the air quality. Yeah, for example, this one I read, one important factor is the humidity level, yeah, in the room that can be the cause for inadequate hygiene. Yeah, means yeah, related, for example, related to the food. Yeah, hygiene or not. The humidity of the air inside the room, if it is not maintained at the optimal level, can be a factor that has adverse effects on the health and the inmates. Yeah, this one, yeah. According to report, the human body is said to be most comfortable when the relative humidity of the area ranges between 20 and 60%. Yeah, it is relative humidity. How many percent? Yeah, human body, yeah, for the healthy, yeah, in the range 20 to 60%. When the relative humidity indoor is less than 20%, there is again the risk of the health problem. Less than 20% of the relative humidity can cause static electricity problem, irritation of the skin and dry eyes. Yeah, if the door relative humidity is above 60%, mold mildew begin to form, this can pose quite a problem to the health of the inmates. Okay? Yang mananya it mean if the relative humidity below 20%, yeah, for example, effect to our skin, yeah, irritation and so on. Above 60%, yeah, the mold, yeah, can grow, yeah, apa dia punya jamur, yeah, this one, it is related to the food, for example, yeah, this one, yeah. Now, so it is related to the OBE. You can analyze after getting the value relative humidity by using the physicometry chart. Moisture in the room is major contribution to mold growth. Ini ya. Unhealthy room and poor room our quality. And then especially for the hot and cold food based on the FDA, ya, Food Drug Agency, the cold food must be kept 50 degrees Celsius or below, and the hot food must be kept 60 degrees Celsius or above. For the food in a buffered style warmer is between 43.3 degrees Celsius to 48.8 degree Celsius. Now this one, it is for the buffered style warmer. For example, we go to the hotel, and for dinner, for the lunch, we go to the hotel restaurant. The system food is follow the buffet style warmer. Buffet style warmer. Now, the suitable temperature for the buffet style warmer between 43.3 degrees Celsius to 48.8 degrees Celsius. It is for the related lah. Nanti kalau untuk OBA, for example, I give the suitable temperature, and follow the metric number of the student. This one. Sebelum example, ada apa-apa soalan? Nuradiba, Sasi Kumar, Purubentira, Nurul, Kaisara. Sarah? Mana nih semua? Kaisara?
Tak ada soalan, sir.
Tak ada soalan luar?
Tak ada, sir. Ada soalan, sir.
Tak ada, mananya paham ke atau lalu saja? Haikal? Herul? Najia? Nurul.
Buat masa ni tak ada soalan lagi, sir.
Tak ada siapa Patin ya? Patin ya. Lepas ni tengok Patin. Give the focus for this one. How to use the physicometry chart. I repeat again because it is related to the OBE. Look at. For example, read the properties of moist air at 24 degrees Celsius dB, 16 degrees Celsius WB, and standard sea level pressure from physicometry chart. Mananya tadi kalaulah Fatin, Fatin measure one place using the physicometry equipment. Fatin obtain the value of dB temperature is 24 degrees Celsius, and WB temperature, wet bulb temperature is 16 degrees Celsius. Now Fatin, from these two type of the temperature, Fatin can decide value of humidity ratio, dew point, enthalpy, relative humidity, specific volume. After that, after obtaining parameter this one, Fatin can decide this place is compact or not. Fatin ya. Now how to do it? Please look at from this value dB and WB temperature. Saya tukar dengan inilah yang lagi nampak Nah ini. Nah ini saya rasa lagi nampak Lagi nampak Fatin? Oh Fatin.
Yes, saya nampak.
Okey Fatin ya. Jadi ada dua temperature. Fatin ada dapatkan dua temperature. The first temperature is dB, dry bulb. dribble is indicate for the vertical line. How many? 24. Ya, vertical line. Nah, so 24. Ya, vertical line yang ini atas ya, nilai-nilai dia yang ini. So where is it for the 24? It is 20, 21, 23, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Nah, so Fatin gambarkan, draw one vertical line. Inilah dia. Ini ya Fatin ya, one vertical line. Ya.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. After that, Fatin has obtained the value of WB temperature 16. 16. Please look at the the WB temperature is indicate for the left sloping position line yang sengit macam ini ya, yang sengit. Mana dia? Inilah yang DB yang 10, 15, 20. Ya, 10, 15, 20. Nah, so kalau ini ya yang tadi kan wet bulb temperature left sloping position line yang sengit putus-putus. So ini yang putus-putus. Nah, ini 15 dekat sini. Jadi 16 agak-agak inilah dia. Ini kan 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 15, 16 dia dekat sini. Inilah yang Fatin gambarkan, draw one line yang sengit tadi, yang ini ya, ini terus, tarik terus. Oke, Fatin, selesai. Sudah, selesai Fatin. Means it is position, it is the vertical line indicate from the dribble, dan ini yang sengit, yang sengit nampak kan? Yang sengit Fatin ini ya, ini adalah wet bulb temperature. Nah, after drawing these two type of this line, Fatin dapatkan ini ya, yang ini ya, the one intersection point, yang ini kan sini ya, yang intersection point. Ya, intersection point mana dia? Inilah Fatin ya, intersection point ini. Nah, ini Fatin. Ya kan Fatin? Oh, Fatin.
Okay, sir, dapat.
Dapat. Ya. Nah, after obtaining one intersection point, Fatin can find the other parameters. Fatin can find the humidity ratio, the value of saturation temperature, the value of enthalpy, the value of relative humidity, and the value of the specific volume. Oh, the best. For the humidity ratio. Mana dia humidity ratio? Yang sebelah kanan ini Fatin ya, yang ini. How to obtain it? Nah, Fatin gambarkan, draw one line, one horizontal line. Starting from this point. Draw. Until here. Wrapping here. Fatin ya. Nah, so following this value of humidity ratio, this line is, for example, in here to here 8 to 10, and how many line? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nah, so Fatin can indicate lah one line how many of the humidity ratio. Nah, so di sini agak-agak 8.25 gram per kilogram moisture of dry air. Ya Fatin ya, boleh Fatin?
Boleh, sir.
Ya, mungkin Fatin dengan kawan Fatin nanti tak sama, dia punya pandangan, dia punya penglihatan, dia punya poin-poin mana. Tapi kalau agak-agak, let's say lah Fatin dapatkan 8.25, kawan Fatin 8.35, is okay for me ya. Nah, exam nanti ya. Oke, tapi janganlah sepatutnya 8.25, tapi Fatin buat 11. Wah, kan udah jauh sangat itu Fatin ya. Oke, itu. And then horizontal line tadi yang di others indicate for the dew point. Dew point drag to the left for the horizontal. Yang ini drag to the horizontal after arriving here. Ya, after arriving here. Ya, indicate here lah. Here ya. Ya, tengok dia punya nilai. Okay, now so if this line is 10 and here is 15. Ya, same ya. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, now so it is around 11 degrees Celsius. It is for the dew point temperature or saturation temperature. Yeah, itu. Okay, and then the enthalpy. How to obtain the enthalpy? Tadi kan Fatin sudah draw the wet bulb temperature. Yang ini ya, yang ini. Nah, Fatin teruskan terus daripada wet bulb temperature until arriving here. Sampai dia jumpa dekat enthalpy. Nah, so please indicate how many kilojoule per kilogram. Yeah, if it is 40, in here is 50, and then has how many small line here? Yeah, I think 10 ya. Kalau inilah 45, nah so tengah-tengah lah 45.05 kilojoule per kilogram. Ya, boleh Fatin ya? Dapat. And then
Boleh
The
sir, boleh,
two.
boleh.
okay, boleh Fatin, terima kasih. Okay, and then two last parameters. Ya, for the relative humidity and specific volume. Ini agak unik sikit cara kira dia Fatin. Ya, the first we want to find the specific volume. Specific volume yang tadi saya ingat tadi ya, nilai dia. Dia yang specific volume ini. Line-line ini. Yang saya ingat ini. Ya, jadi specific volume kalau yang ini kan 0.92, line yang ini. Kalau ini 0.91, sebab yang dekat sini 0.90. And so how? Same from this intersection point ini. Nah, kalau Fatin tengok, this intersection point ini berada di spesifik volume yang mana saja. Jadi ini kalau macam ini, intersection point kan ada dekat sini lah, let's say. Jadi yang intersection point ini ada dekat mana-mana untuk this specific volume. Oh, Fatin tengok. Oh, ada dekat sini dengan yang dekat sini. Yang dekat sini adalah 0.86. Kemudian yang dekat sini, kalau ini 0.84 means here is 0.85. Ya, itu dulu. Okay, and then kalau ini tadi tidak dapatkan, ya this both specific volume, lalu ini dia titik intersection point here, ini kemari berapa dia punya distance? Ya, nah, ukurlah, Fatin ukur. Ini ukur. Dekat sini, maksudnya saya tariklah nih, bla 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 macam ini. Oh, garis ini adalah sepanjang 1.34 cm. And then intersection point here, tuh, yang below specific volume ini berapa cm juga? 0.5 cm. Nah, so the first, Fatin kena tahu how many ya specific volume per 1 cm. Ya, nah so Fatin first find 1 cm itu berapa nilai dia, meter kubik dia per kilogram dl. Ya, yang ini ya, 1 cm is equal to above value 0.86 minus bawah yang specific volume 0.85 divided distance line tadi ini. Ya, 1.34 cm obtain 0.0075 means 1 cm ya is 0.0075 meter kubik per kilogram. Ya, dash berapa dia punya specific volume dekat intersection volume ini? Yaitu yang bawah 0.85 plus ini kemarin adalah 0.5 multiply per cm dia berapa? Ya, darabkan. Nah, so obtain 0.85 ya meter kubik per kilogram. Oke, boleh Fatin and the others?
Boleh, sir.
Boleh, terima kasih. Okay, ya? Okay, and then last, how about
Sure.
the value of relative humidity? Relative humidity yang lengkung dia punya. Ya, Sam. This intersection area is positioned in both the specific relative humidity above and below. Ya, we want to know above how many percent. Kalau ini this intersection area yang mananya above for the relative humidity adalah, kita tengok ini ya, how many percent. Ya, ini kan dia ya, atas dia ini ini dia 50%. Lalu bawah intersection area ini 40%. Mean this intersection area ya berada between 40% and 50%. Same. We want to find first how many percent per centimeter. Okay, nah, so Patin draw lah one line, starting here to here, like this one. Nah, so I obtain the distance between here to here is 0.82 cm. Yeah, nah, so we can find, 1 cm is equal to above specific relative humidity 50% minus below 40% over distance 0.82. We obtain 12.2%. Nah, so the actual value of relative humidity for this intersection point is 40 bawah dia plus distance from below to this intersection area is 0.34 multiply per cm for the relative humidity 12.2% cm. Nah, so last we obtain 44.150%. Nah, ini ya. For example, we analyze if the question it is hygiene, it is health or not for our body according to relative humidity. Because Patin obtained the relative humidity is 44 point something percent, and it is in the range 20 to 60%, maka we can decide that room yang Patin measure adalah health. Oke, Patin ya? Boleh ya, Patin? Ya?
Boleh, sir. Boleh.
Boleh. Oke, yang lain boleh?
Sir nak tanya,
Pinot?
sir dekat bahagian yang sir measure yang length tu 0.82 cm, 0.34 cm tu semua macam mana sir? Dekat relative humidity tu.
Ni.
0.82 cm, 0.34 cm.
Oke, I repeat again. Intersection point ini ya, Pinot?
Ya sir.
Intersection point ini ada dekat relative humidity berapa saja? Kalau kita tengok, ini kan ada dekat di 50%, ini ya 50%. Bawah dia 40%, ini ya, tengok nih, ke bawah terus. Oke, Pinot, boleh?
Oke, sir.
Pinot macam ini, based on the mathematical, ya, remember. Ya, from 2 point, we can draw one line, betul ya?
Yes,
Itu
sir.
kalau theoretical, ya. Ya, from 2 point we can draw one line. Mananya starting lah poin mana-mana yang ada dekat 40%. Dan selalunya ya, Pinot, yang kita manakan kita mau ambil line ini adalah line yang terpendek. Ya, the shortest line. Ya. Dan ini punya takkan mungkin Pinot draw daripada titik ini kemari. Ini kan sama saja yang tadi saya cakap, daripada low to high, ya, through this intersection point. Tapi draw lah the shortest line yang memang the shortest from the low relative humidity to the high relative humidity. Itu dulu, Vinod. Mana dia? Ya, for example, inilah saya draw. Ini ya. Ini nampak ini yang hijau.
Okey sir.
Oke, kemudian ini saya tarik kemari biar nampak dia saya tulisan di saya. Ini last kali saya dapatkan yang ini kemari diwakili oleh ini sini. 0.82 cm. Boleh Pinot? Pinot?
Oh, okey sir, faham sir.
Oke. Kemudian yang dari bawah to intersection point. Inilah dia saya wakilin. Inilah saya peroleh 0.34 cm. Boleh? Pinot?
Okey sir.
Okay. And then the others, this one can understand. Pinot?
Ya sir, yang tu just substitute je value tu.
Oke ya. Nah, yang lain ada apa soalan?
Sir,
Yes,
macam
Koisa.
mana nak dapatkan garis yang warna merah-merah tu?
Garis yang warna merah-merah yang mana satu? Banyak merah ini.
Macam ni nak tu. Kita nak tahu dia punya tu. Garis.
Yang mana merah yang mana satu? Ini ada merah lain dia ada 1, 2, 3. Yang mana satu?
Yang dekat apa tu nama dia? Dry. Kalau yang dekat dry tu. Macam ni kita nak tarik. Nak tahu
Oh,
dia.
tadi kan dah saya explain yang ini. Kaisa, tadi kan measure hasil measure untuk dry bulb temperature dapat ya? Dry bulb temperature kita berapa tadi? Kaisa, ikut soalan? Oh, Kaisa. Kaisa. Berapa Kaisa? Ini ya? 24.
24.
24 ya? Nah, jadi tadi kalau untuk dry valve indicate for the vertical line. Oke, Kaisa? Oke, Kaisa.
sir.
Ya? Kaisa?
Yes sir, ya.
Ya. Vertical. So, nilai-nilai dry valve adalah ini ya, Kaisa ya? So 24 itu dekat mana? Jadi kalau ini 20, kemudian kan ini 21, 22, 23, 24. Inilah dia sini 24. Ini Kaisa, ini 24. Dah Kaisa?
Oh nampak lah.
Lepas itu draw vertical line. Nah inilah vertical line ini yang ini. Yang inilah yang dry bulb. Nampak Kaisa?
Nampak dah sir, dah faham dah.
Dah paham? Okey, semua merah-merah dah paham, yang merah lain?
Dapat.
Serius? Okey. Yang
Okay,
lain?
thank you sir.
Okey, Lain okey? Okey, kalau tak ada, boleh kita lanjut? Ardian? Apa dia, Ardian?
Sir, ya, sir nak tanya yang 0.82 cm tu dia dapat melalui ukur dengan pembaris
Ukur dengan pembaris? Ya, ukur
okey,
dengan
sir,
pembaris.
thank
Ya. Okey, yang lain? Okey, kalau tak ada kita lanjut ya. Okey. Okey, sekarang we want to discuss about the air conditioning equipment. Ya, ini yang kita selalu panggil aircon for the cooling system. Ya. I read first. A fan compressor force a refrigerant heat transfer fluid through the tubing coil and fins. When the refrigerant reach the indoor coil evaporator, it evaporates and pulls the heat out of the indoor air. At this point, the refrigerant fluid has changed to a gas. The hot refrigerant gas is then pumped back through the copper tubing and aluminum fins of the outdoor condenser, where it condensed back into a liquid, releasing its heat to the air passing over the metal tubing and fins. Yeah, you know that? This one, yeah, it is our aircon. Saya tak tahu Finat, Fatin, Kaisah ke hari-hari nampak aircon, nampak cooling system dekat bilik, tapi benda apa yang ada dekat dalam dia itu, how to operate it. Nah, so how this aircon can cool Fatin punya room, ada terpikir tak? Terpikir ada, tapi how to understand it tak? Macam mana itu, Fatin? Nah, itu ya, Fatin ya. Now, so we want to discuss it. The first, look at this aircon system. Yeah. In here, I can decide that this aircon device can be divided by three main part. Three main part. The first compressor. The first compressor. The second, what I can call as indoor installation. Yang dalam bilik kita. Yang dia buat sejukkan. This indoor installation means is evaporator. Evaporator ini. And then the Dutch equipment is outdoor. Yang dia install dekat luar. The main what we can call condenser. And selalunya dia punya compressor include in the indoor installation. Ini dia. Now, so please look at this one. It is before and this one. It is indoor system, outdoor system. This one is compressor. It is receiver dry. After receiver in here, before after that we can call the one part is orifice tube, and then this one is expansion valve. Okay, I explain please. Please look at this evaporator in our room. I start here. After this expansion valve, change the cool fluid, to be vapor, to flow through the evaporator, to be refrigerant. Now, so the refrigerant vapor will absorb the heat air from our room. And then in the same time, we can see here blower. This blower or evaporator fan will blow. Will blow the cooling air. Itulah sehingga Fatin akan rasakan, bilik saya sejuk buat mengantuk. Itu Fatinnya itulah. Nah, so si blower or si evaporator fan blows the air cool. In this case, the refrigerant vapor tadi will be changed to be gas with the low temperature and low pressure through this tube. This tube ini. This tube ini. This tube ini. Flow here to here. And we can see here compressor. What the main function of the compressor? This compressor will move. Dia punya main kerja dia will move the fluid from one part to the other part of the aircon system. In here, this compressor will change the gas with the low temperature, low pressure to be high temperature and high pressure to the condenser yang dia punya outdoor installation. Inilah dia. Inilah dia. And then will be flowed through this receiver, and here we have what we call the orifice tube. Now this orifice tube will change the high temperature and the high pressure to be cool or cool liquid, with low temperature and low pressure again. Flow through here. This expansion part will be controlled. The flowing of the cooling fluid. And then change to be evaporator. And back again lah in here. Dan circulate dia. Okay, it is operation principle of the aircon. Okay, boleh? Boleh? Boleh paham kan? Nur Sarul, Sasi Kumar? Kaisara, sorry. Kaisara? Fatin?
Boleh.
Boleh, okey ya?
Boleh, sir.
Okey, Fatin. Okey, kalau boleh. Okey, itulah dia. Okey, Naso. If we look at satu ketul aircon, so the satu ketul aircon, the one air conditioner, the cooling system yang ada dekat bilik kita. So the equipment can be divided by two part of the equipment. The first equipment or the component is mechanical component. Yeah, where is it? Compressor, condenser, receiver, liquid refrigerant control, evaporator. Inilah semua yang compressor, ya, condenser, expansion valve, and then evaporator. Ya, this one, ya, is mechanical components. And the second component we can call electrical component. Nah, so selalu kan aircon itu to connect to the TNB. Means in here the aircon has some of the electrical component. Where is it? Electrical compressor motor. Ya, yang kompresor tadi ini, the compressor has piston. The piston is moved by the motor. Ya, untuk dia hisap, kemudian untuk dia tolak dia punya fluid. Ya, itu ya. Kemudian compressor contactor relay to on off. Compressor stator to start, ya, overload protector. Ya, if the system occur overload. Capacitor to starting for the motor, ya, potential relay, ya, pressure switch, ya, to on off, evaporator pen motor, pen condenser pon meter, and evaporator pen relay. Nah, so in here we have motor, fan here. We have in here condenser also has the fan also, ya, in here. Nah, this electrical part, yeah, this one. Okay, I repeat again, part by part of the equipment. Compressor, I just read here. A compressor is pumping device used in a mechanical refrigerant system to change the working fluid refrigerant, vapor or gas with low pressure and temperature, or a evaporator to be the gas with high pressure and temperature, condenser. This gas is flowed to the condenser through the tube. Thus, the primary function of compressor is to establish a pressure difference in the system to create a flow of the refrigerant from one part to the system to others. Yeah, means if you look at this compressor, the main function, I repeat again, to move fluid from one part to the others. For example, from the one part low temperature, high temperature, low pressure, to high temperature, fluid here, and then flow here. It is function of the compressor. And then also, change lah tadi, refrigerant from the evaporator, that change to be gas in here, and change to be gas also with the high pressure and high temperature. It is function of the compressor. Okay, and then if you look at compressor, where is it compressor? Compressor in the outdoor installation, outdoor installation, including the condenser, condenser. Jadi kalau kita tengok selalu kompresor itu dekat outdoor installation, dia ada tegak, ada colornya dia color hitam, macam tank. Itulah kompresor, this one. Okay, how to move the compressor moving? The first can using belt. This belt. Belt connected to the belt. Now so look at here. Connected to belt here. It has piston. Piston untuk sedot, kemudian untuk push dia punya fluid. Main suction here. It is fluid come from the evaporator. Masa dia turun, dia turun, piston turun, bergerak macam ini, turun, dia akan hisap dia punya fluid. And then dia naikkan lagi, dia akan tolak dia punya fluid, goes to the condenser. Inilah dia. Ini yang using the belt. And this one using motor. Mean using motor, ya motor is moved using the TNB, for example. Ya, same to move the piston. Ya, piston, motor move, piston move, masa dia move tolak sini, ya dia macam ini tolak, ya dia akan hisap fluid, ya fluid from the evaporator, and then move again, piston bergerak macam ini, dia akan tolakkan fluid dalam apa nih, dalam kompresor, ya goes to the condenser. Ya, discharge ini means fluid goes to the condenser. Yang inilah to be the high temperature and high pressure ya. Ini ya. Inilah kompresor. And then piston tadi tolak, dia punya fluid goes to the condenser. This one is condenser. Ya, it is from the apa tadi nama? Piston. Ya, this one. Ya, masuk kemari. Jadi ada satu condenser fan ya untuk dia coolkan. Ya, balik ini. Kemudian this one goes to the what we can Orefield tube. Ya, Orefield tube. Itu same ya. Cell and coil condenser. Nah, so the Orefield tube here, ya, the high pressure tadi kan lepas daripada condenser, the gas still high. Ya, by the Orefield tube change to the low pressure, ya, cool liquid. Ya, after this one part will go to the, ya, look here, expansion valve. What is expansion valve here? Ya, it control the flow of cooling liquid from the Orefield tube, ya, and change it to be vapor when it leaves expansion valve and goes to the evaporator. Inilah kalau kita tengok overall this one, ya, it is expansion valve will change the gas to be vapor and goes to this evaporator. Ya, refrigerant gas will absorb the heat air from our room. Ya, this one. And then the last we can see the evaporator part. Ya, evaporator part here, the refrigerant vapor absorb the heat air in the room, and the evaporator fan blows the cooling air to the room. The refrigerant and the evaporator start to change back to be the low pressure vapor, but still contain a little liquid. The missing refrigerant flows and goes back to the compressor. Okay, yeah, goes back to the compressor. Yeah, this compressor, yeah, from here evaporator, yeah, after refrigerant gas observe the heat air from our room, blows cool air to our room, and then change to be gas here, and will be flowed through this compressor. Inilah circulation of the fluid in the air conditioning system. Okay, and then it is wiring, yeah, for the electrical. Yeah, this fan. Yeah, we have the like here, yeah, motor, some motors, yeah, this one motor, and also relay, yeah, relay here, and also switch, and it is the leader diagram, yeah, leader diagram to read how to control it. Yeah, same motor here, switch, yeah, for example, it is connected to the TMB we see here, yeah, and then this one is relay, yeah, here, yeah, this one is motor, okay. Oke, saya agak laju cumanan. Ada apa-apa soalan? Kenapa keluar Patin? Oke, Patin Farah, ini Patin Hanisa. Oke, ada apa soalan? Hardep, Engkei, Ruben Tira, ada apa soalan?
No, sir.
No, tak ada juga. Ruben Tiran, tak ada. Nur Amira, Najiha, Tan Chang Wei, Inert, Wahid Asim, Wahid Asim, oh Wahid, Mana nih Wahid ini? Wahid? Zakirul Amin. Wong Fang Ming? Tak ada. Oke lah, kalau tak ada kita lanjut ya. Kita habiskan ya lecture note-nya. Oke. Engkai, Nur Adiba, Lukman, Nur Hidayu. Okay, Nur Hidayu ya. Tadi kita discuss about the compressor. Yeah, this one is compressor. Remember, compressor main function to flow the liquid, yeah, from one part to the others. Yeah, please look at the compressor here. Input from the evaporator. Means this evaporator. Kalau inilah saya cakap ya. Tube from the evaporator with the low temperature and low pressure, yeah, will be moved by the compressor, yeah, and then change to be high temperature and high pressure, yeah, goes to the condenser. Means in here this compressor, yeah, has two type of process related to the cooling and heating, yeah, and then this operation, yeah, if we relate, yeah, or can be related to what we can call Carnot engine, yeah, Carnot engine, this one. Now, so in here we know what we can call the refrigerant cycle and heat pump cycle. Yang ini ya, yang ini. Why? Because refrigerant relate to the cold, heat relate to the heat. Yeah, in here. Now, so please look at this diagram. Yeah, it is compressor. Yeah, compressor will compress or move fluid from the evaporator with QL, low heat, and with low temperature, TL, yeah, to be QH, high heat, and TH, high temperature, yeah, to condenser. Yeah, condenser here. Yeah. Yeah, now so in here we can call that occur cycle. Yeah, cycle. Okay. Compressor move. When the compressor moving means this compressor needs power. Yeah, this power or need work. Yeah, this condition can be taken from the TNB supply. Now, so it is as the work input. Yeah, work input or input power. Yeah, this one, yeah. Okay, now so we read. The compressor does work to change the refrigerant. Yang ini ya, refrigerant from the evaporator, yeah, with low pressure, low heat, and low temperature, yeah, to be gas with the high pressure, high heat, and high temperature. Yeah, this one. Okay, and then yeah, Nur Hidayu. Yeah, Nur Hidayu, yeah. Nur Hidayu understand about the Kirchhoff current law, where in one point the sum of the current enter is equal to the sum of the current out. Ya, nah so please Nur apa tadi? Nur Hidayu. Ya, Nur Hidayu, please indicate this point as a point of the Kirchhoff current law lah. Now, so in here we have QL, W, and QH. Yeah, where is enter? Which part enter of this point? QL and W. Out QH. Mean QL plus W is equal to QH. Nah, ya, Nur Hidayu ya. Ya, Nur Hidayu. QL plus W is equal to QH. Yeah. And then same for the refrigerant cycle and then heat pump cycle. We know what been mentioned as COP, coefficient of performance. Yeah, it is like the efficiency. Yeah, COP is defined as the heat observed from the cool space divided by work. Means COP is equal to heat over work. Yeah, this one, yeah. And if we write COPR, R indicate refrigerant cycle, yeah, is equal to QL over W. And from here, W we can write, yeah, to be W is equal to QH minus QL. Inilah dia. And this QH minus QL, I can write here, QL multiply QH minus minus 1. Yeah, sorry. QL multiply QH over QL minus 1. Ya, this one ya. Nah, atas ini kan mengandungi QL. Bawah mengandungi QL. Boleh cut-cut ya. Nah, so to be lah this one. Ya, COPR is equal to 1 over QH over QL minus 1 ya. This one ya. Nah, it is for the refrigerant cycle. Now for the heat pump. Heat pump basically same device as refrigerator. The difference is their purpose. Yeah, the purpose of refrigerator is to observe heat from the cool space to keep it at the desired low temperature. The purpose of heat pump is to transfer heat to a heat space to keep it at desired higher temperature. Thus, COP of a heat pump can be given by COP HP. HP here indicate heat pump is equal to QH over W. Yeah, look at here. Refrigerant, yeah, means give cool air, means the room to be lower temperature. Yeah, inversely, heat pump to give high temperature, yeah, to the room, yeah, to the room. Now, so the formulation same, yeah, the formulation same, yeah, using the P refrigerant. Same means, yeah, come from a refrigerant QL, yeah, in here give high temperature QH, yeah, so COP HP is equal to QH over W, and then same from here. W can be written QH minus QL. So we can write QH minus QL here is equal to W here. Now, so QH minus QL can be written to be QH multiply 1 QL over QH. Yeah, numerator contain QH, denominator also contain QH. Now, so can be cut. So the last we obtain this formulation, yeah. COPHP is equal to 1 over 1 minus QL over QH. And then remember in here, yeah, in here, heat relate to the temperature. Now, so QL, yeah, relate to the TL. QH relate to the TH. Now, so this coefficient of performance heat pump can be written also 1 over 1 minus TL over TH. And then remember, yeah, Hidayu, yeah, TL in here is temperature, TH in here is also high temperature. Unit in Kelvin, yeah, unit in Kelvin, remember, by using this formula, unit in Kelvin. And then we have relationship between COP for the heat pump and COP for the refrigerant. So COP heat pump is equal to COP refrigerant plus 1. Ya, relationship. Oke? Ada apa-apa sebelum example 2 ini? Last? Sebelum example last? Ada apa-apa? Ya, remember ya, COP ini nanti ada nih bagi fokus. Ya. Relate to the OBE juga. Ada apa, Finon?
Tak ada sir.
Tak ada. Oke, kalau tak ada kita tengoklah dua example terakhir ini. Oke, look at example. A refrigeration cycle is used to keep a food temperature department at 15 minus 15 degrees Celsius. The total heat gain to the food department is estimated to be 1,500 kilojoule per hour. And the heat rejection to the condenser is 2,600 kilojoule per hour. Determine power input compressor in kilowatt, COP of refrigerator. Now it is the cooling system, refrigerant cycle. In here we have the value of 1,500 kilojoule per hours. Mean it is value of low heat. And then this one is high heat, 2,600 kilojoule per hours. From here we want to find the value of power input W in kilowatt. So by using this formula, QL is equal QL plus W is equal to QH. Or from here we can write W as input power is equal to high heat minus low heat. Inilah yang dia ya. Input power is equal to HQ high heat minus low heat. So high heat is 2,600 kilojoule per hour minus 1,500 kilojoule per hour. Now we obtain 1,100 kilojoule per hour. Now this unit we want to change to be watt. To be watt or kilowatt. Remember 1 hours how many seconds? 1 hours is 3,600 second. Means value here should be divided by 3,600. So we can write 1,100 divided by 3,600 kilojoule per second. Now so we have joule per second. Remember energy is equal to power multiply time. Energy unit joule equal to power multiply time, power unit watt multiply time unit in second. So 1 joule is equal to 1 watt second. Or 1 joule per second is equal to 1 watt. Remember this one Now so we obtain 1,100 divided by 3,600. We obtain 0.306. Still kilo in here we write kilo. Watt in here come from the joule over second Joule over second tadi watt. Now so we obtain 0.306 kilowatt yang ni Okay. After this we want to find the COP of refrigerator. The COP can be found from here. COPR is equal to QL over W. COPR is equal to QL over W in. QL we obtain from here 1,500 unit kilojoule per hour. Now so W in here we take from same unit kilojoule per hour. So 1,500 kilojoule per hour over 1,100 kilojoule per hour. We obtain 1.36 of COPR. This one Oke, ada apa soalan untuk example POW? Ada apa soalan?
Ada.
Ada. Sekali lagi lah ya. Kalau tak ada kita laskan habiskan ini. Example 5. Yeah, example 5, an electric resistant heater with a power consumption of 2 kilowatt. So consumption power is kilowatt, mean in this room. Yeah, in this room, 2 kilowatt here for this room with the high temperature, mean 2 kilowatt for the high heat. Is used to heat a room 25 degrees Celsius. Ini ya, 20 kilowatt heat, yeah, high heat of 2 kilowatt, yeah, to heat the room at 20 degrees Celsius. When the outdoor temperature is 0 degrees Celsius, outdoor is 0 degrees Celsius. Calculate the COP and power input of the heater. Now, so we want to find the COP and power input. Yeah, this one, yeah. So I repeat again, 2 kilowatt in here is as QH, and 25 here is TH. Yeah, remember, yeah, temperature in Kelvin. Now, so we have to change 25 degrees Celsius to be Kelvin, should be added by 273 Kelvin. So it is related to the heat pump, so we can use this formula. Yeah, COPHP is equal to 1 over 1 minus TL over TH. So in here, COPH is equal to 1 over 1 minus TL over TH. Yeah, TL low 0 degrees Celsius compared to Kelvin should be added by 273 Kelvin. So 273 Kelvin here. Yeah, divided by TH, high temperature 25 degree. Should be compared to be Kelvin. So 25 plus 273 Kelvin. So we obtain 298 Kelvin. Last, we have the value of COP is equal to 11.92 its value, yeah. Okay. After obtaining this one, we want to find the value of input power. Yeah, this one. Yeah, same by using this formula. Yeah, COPHP is equal to QH over W in, or W in here QH over COP. Yeah, so QH over COPHP. Yeah, QH is 2 kilowatt divided by 11.92. Now, so value of COPHP, yeah, is 0.17. Sorry, value of input power, yeah, is 0.17 kilowatt. Yeah, this one, yeah. Okay. Ada apa soalan? Senyap aja semua nih. Ada apa soalan? Kaisara? Finot?
Tak ada.
Tak ada. Tak ada mana yang paham ya?
Tak ada, doktor.
Tak ada. Ahmad tak ada juga. Tak ada. Kalau tak ada, kalau apa-apa ada soalan sambil ambil attendance lah ini. Tanya kalau ada apa soalan.